Hey you guys! So before I even get into what I want to talk about on this video, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for showing me the support that you have. I was floored by the positive response, and I just really wanted to say thank you. So, what I'm going to be doing on this video is I'm just going to be sharing a little bit more about me and more about my husband, just so you guys can get to know us a little better. So, as for me, I was born completely blind. Well, I was born with glaucoma and I had light perception. So that meant that I could distinguish light and shadow from my left eye is where I had it. My husband was also born with his vision impairment, and he was born with something called retinitis pigmentosa, and what that means is that his retina degenerates over time, and there's really nothing they can do about it. So, I mean, it's been stable for him for years now, and we're really grateful for that. But if it were to go, it would just be something else that we'd have to manage. No biggie, just life happening. Anyway, and when I was 16, I woke up a Saturday morning in December, and I had this blurry shadow over my left eye, and light was very dim, which was really odd for me because I used to be able to, like I said, distinguish light really clearly. And that was Saturday morning, and by Monday morning it was gone. Completely pitch black in my world. It was literally gone in a matter of hours, and at that point I had to just deal with that. And what stands out to me even till now about that is that till that age, I have to admit that I was actually scared of the dark. And I told myself I either get over that ridiculous fear or I end up missing out on life completely. And missing out on life was just not an option for me. It never has been, and it just never will be. And so that happened, and I graduated from high school, and then I was about 20 years old when I started developing these really just awful headaches. And I was getting them just about every day, and they were excruciatingly painful. And I ended up having to go to a specialist, and they found out that I had developed an autoimmune condition that was only attacking my eyes. So I had to have 2 surgeries to correct that. And it wasn't much of a surprise that I had developed the condition because I was told that, my grandmother was told that when I was younger, that eventually that would happen, that I would develop that condition. I can't remember the name of it. That's just awful. Anyway, we were warned that that was going to happen, so it really wasn't much of a surprise, and I was just grateful to be able to get rid of the pain, so. Then that year, that same year, that was a big year for me. I actually embraced Islam. I was raised Catholic, and at 20 years old, I made a decision to change religions, and Islam just fits me. I love my religion. It's just so peaceful and such an awesome way of life for me. So the following year, I was able to accomplish one of my childhood dreams, and I was able to go to the Seeing Eye and get a guide dog, and that was a huge deal for me because since I was about 5 years old, I just knew I was going to have a guide dog. I just knew I wasn't going to use the cane for the rest of my life. And I know this is probably really inappropriate to say, maybe blind inappropriate anyway, but I hate the cane. And, I don't advocate for it, I don't like it. And if there's other blind people, and I know there is, who choose to use it and who feel comfortable with it, that's great. I'm glad it works for you. That's wonderful. But for me, absolutely not. I cannot understand how a stick is supposed to make me feel comfortable, supposed to make me feel safe. I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. So for me, a guide dog was the right choice. And she walked me on stage for college. She went on my honeymoon with us. She went on our honeymoon, and she's done amazing things for me. And she's retired now. She got very sick, and she's in no condition to work anymore. So she's just our dog that we love and take care of and kind of help her get through her sickness. And she's very ill. But we love our doggie, and I love my girlie. We have a bond that I don't think, unless you've had a guide dog, you understand it. It's very difficult to understand the bond of a dog who has literally been in your eyes and has kept you from so many different potentially harmful situations. It's incredible, the bond that you share with your guide dog. But anyway, what else about me? I got married in 2007, and then in 2010, we welcomed our first child, and that's our son Abdullah. And Abdullah is 4 now. And then in 2012, the very end of 2012, we had Noah. And ideally, I would like 2 more babies. I love being a mom. And so, ideally, we would have 2 more children, but we'll see what happens. And we've decided that we're going to homeschool, and I am so super just enthused about that. I have this schoolroom. We have the schoolroom set up that's almost done, and when it's done, I'm going to show it to you guys. I'm just so excited about it. We're starting that in September, the homeschooling. What else? I love writing. I write children's stories. I have a blog that I run. And that's just another way for me to express myself. I love it. And that blog is also momthroughmyeyes.com. And for anyone who's blind who's watching this, I know that clicking on the little link at the bottom there, the down bar, that can be difficult. I know for me when I'm using VoiceOver on any iDevice or any screen reader, clicking on those links sometimes can be difficult. And for those who don't know what screen readers are, they're programs that just literally do exactly that. They read the screen on computers and mobile devices so that blind people can use them and they're accessible to us. So I'm going to spell that out for you guys, just in case you cannot click on it, so you guys can go check that out. And that's momthroughmyeyes.com, and that's momthroughmyeyes.com, all together, of course, because it's the web address. But you could also follow me on Twitter at momthroughmyeyes. And what else about me? I love to sing. How could I forget that? I love to sing. I've been singing as far as I can remember. As far as my memory can serve me, I've been singing. Anywhere that I could get on stage, I was on it. And it's still a really big part of my life. And for my husband as well. He and I have recorded a couple songs together. He hasn't produced in a while, but he also produced a couple of beats, and he is my biggest supporter, my #1 fan. When I wanted to start my blog, he was right there. Starting this YouTube channel, he has been right there. When I said I wanted to homeschool, he was, again, just full support. Absolutely, he's my rock. And he and I met in 2002, and we met at a program that was being held for blind and visually impaired students considering to go to college. And the whole goal of the program was to sort of give an idea of what college life would be like. And honestly, that program, didn't do much for me. It was nothing, absolutely nothing like my personal college experience. So, I made some really great friendships out of that. So, and I met my husband from there, so it was awesome for that, but other than that, it didn't really do much for me. But yeah, we met there, and I remember that we all the students were called together, and we were brought to this room where we were supposed to have this sort of icebreaker meeting, I suppose. And we were supposed to get an overview of what was to happen and socialize a bit, I guess, and take all these IQ kind of tests. I don't know. It was just really pointless to me. I can't even lie. And I remember I sat at this round table, and then I remember when I came to this program, I literally only went to get further my mobility instruction to improve on it so that I can gain acceptance into the Seeing Eye. And 2002 had been a pretty difficult year for me, so I just needed a change of scenery. I just needed some fresh air, and so I went just for that. I didn't expect anything else from it. So we sat at this round table, and there was this girl to the right of me. I can't remember her name. I think it's insane that I can remember where she sat, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember her name. But anyway, and so she sat to the right of me, and then my husband, my now husband, he sat to the left of me, and I sat down very quietly because I was in a mood, I can't even lie, that day. I wasn't having anything. And he introduced himself to me, and I remember what he said because no one's ever introduced themselves to me in that manner again. No one had done it before, and it's never been duplicated. So I remember he said, "Hi, my name is Nadir, but my friends call me Nate, and I'm Palestinian, so..." And I stood quiet for a second because in my head, all I kept thinking was, what is the point of you telling me where you're from? I don't understand it. It kind of irritated me. Because I couldn't understand why you would even bother telling me that. Why that needed to be one of the first things you said to me. And so I stood quiet, and then I finally responded, and I said, "Well, that's great for you. My name is Yadira, and I'm Puerto Rican. Do you want a treat for that?" Now, anybody that knows me knows that that is just typical me fashion. I am just way too sarcastic for my own good. And I guarantee, did not expect such an abrasive response because he stood quiet for a really good minute. And then in my head, I was all happy because I was just thinking, well, good, I got this guy to be quiet. Because he really irritated me with that. And so he finally said, well, the thing is that it hasn't even been a year since 9/11, and I've honestly been treated so differently, and even by people that I grew up with, that I've known for years, and I just honestly don't feel like dealing with that again, so I just needed to know where you stand with that. And I stood quiet, and I digested that, and I could understand that, so I told him, okay, I understand that, and that's fine, but you don't even know the first thing about me, so don't presume. And from there, our conversation just kept going, and as much as he irritated me at first, he was intriguing, he was interesting, and I was drawn to him because he stood up for himself, and he wasn't going to take anything that made him uncomfortable, and I really appreciated that. So the program ended, but we kept in contact, and we really became really good friends. And then I met his family, and then he expressed an interest in learning Braille, and he asked if I could teach him, and so I said yeah. And I was his Braille tutor, instructor, whatever you want to call it. And I don't even know if he remembers Braille. I taught him the basics, but he never put it to use. I mean, I hope he remembers it, but I don't even know. Anyway, so that is how we met, and then in 2007, like I said, we got married. And now we have 2 beautiful children, like I said before. What else? I am going to be 30 in a couple of weeks. And it may seem crazy, but I am so excited to turn 30. I have been so blessed in my life. I mean, we've all dealt with ups and downs, but I can't complain. I have a good life. And so turning 30 to me is just awesome. My husband is a year younger than me, so he kind of makes fun of me sometimes for that. That I'm going to be 30. I'm getting old. But there's nothing wrong with aging gracefully, right? No. But, yeah, that's pretty much what we are, you know, just a couple trying to live their lives and make the best of every moment that we have. And we love creativity, love making music, I love writing, I love the arts. It's just such a big part of me, and I encourage my kids to express themselves in any positive and creative manner. I love creativity. allows for such a free spirit. And I think that being blind and then my husband being visually impaired, I think creativity is just part of the package, right? Like, you don't have a choice but to be creative and to think outside the box if you want life to work. Being blind sort of just propels you to being creative. I think it just goes hand in hand. Or maybe that's just the case for us, but it works. So I really appreciate being able to have that creative spirit. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I want to share with you guys. I think anything comes up, I will definitely be sharing it in my upcoming videos, and you guys will get to know me and my family better. Hopefully you guys will keep subscribing, and that way we can just keep sharing our moments and our experiences and just letting you know how we manage everything and how we enjoy our lives. So with that, I think I'm just going to end it here because I honestly can't think of anything else. So